A special good afternoon to everyone. And this is another Team Unity Roundtable discussion. We've been quiet for a couple of weeks on the Team Unity Roundtable discussion. However, we have still been on the ground doing our work with meeting the people, um, finding out what's going on. But before we go into much more details, let me welcome our GS, Professor Bruno, the political philosopher. See you fresh off your big program with the young people. See you're doing we're doing some, well, not we, you and the young people are doing some big things.
Well, Carlos, thanks. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite. Whenever young people get me involved, I get excited. I think that's what keeps me young. Uh, so yeah, I had an interesting program earlier and with Shelly and Sheila G. And as you heard them say, I kind of mentor them behind the scenes as well. And I accept that humbly. And I just believe that as long as young people are willing, you should give them as much as you can and make way for young people, man. Too many people, too many stagnant people, too many people in places for too long in the system, man. I think after a period of time, people should branch out into other things and allow more young people to prosper in Jamaica. So that's what I live my life for. And Carlos, you know that. You're one of the people who know me well in terms of working with me. And one of the things I told you initially when you asked me to work with a particular program, I said, as long as we are going to do this in the interest of young people, I am there because I had been through the Guay in Dominica for over 3 decades. I've been saying that every time. And there was no hope, no sign ahead for me to get assistance. And I had to go on my own. So I do not want another young Dominican to Guay as much as I did. That's why I do the things that I do to help to empower young people. Hence that big program you referenced a while ago, Carlos. I'm happy that there were many people following, and the response is very good.
Yes, I see you had a lot of persons who were inquiring. I'm guess this type of events activities are sorely lacking in Dominica. I admire the energies these young guys are coming up with, like contributing in areas where they would have loved to gain some experience when they were coming up, and now they coming up right now. They're making it possible for others to join in and get some experience, get some knowledge that they have been willing to share based on their experience.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and artists and people have kind of done things in the past, but not in a way that these guys are doing it now. I guess they have just, brought something new to the table. But the way in which that they have arranged this thing, they speak about curriculum, they speak about program, and the based on my understanding of the curriculum that they have put together, the depth at which they went to offer this to the people has not quite been done like that by an individual or by a group of people. And I'm really happy that they're doing it, Carlos. And I'm hoping that many Dominicans encourage their children to participate in this summer writing workshop, because at the end of the day, the children are going to be better for it. We cannot all be academics, but we can be intellectuals. To be an intellectual is to own rights to something that you do. And if you write a song, I'm telling you, a song can change somebody's life. One song. Because I remember I won road match with Osama say Carlos. Osama say
Osama
Benny.
says, I remember that song.
My brother, I got a record deal. I got to travel around the world. And the royalties that I can make and will make on that song will take care of me, hopefully, if I live long enough to enjoy all the royalties that I can make on that song. One song. So, and Asa, and Trilogy and Shelley, others, Gordon Henderson, Fitzroy, Ra, Connell, Carlin, people who write songs, Michael, and make money on music and tell you that music is gold. So what these guys are doing is amazing, and I was more than happy to share in different ways as a mentor and also as a publicist on their behalf, Carlos. Young people are the future, man, and that is my hallmark. That is what I really am crazy about. Giving young people the empowerment, helping them to see that they should not give up. Too many people in the system have given up, Carlos. If we can get some young people to see that there is hope, that's good. And that's why I'm part of this movement with you, Carlos. People think it's my movement that I did and got you involved and others involved. Carlos, you can always set the record straight that I didn't
Well,
come and say, Carlos, look up.
I'm normally quick to let people know that this team unity concept did not originate from Alex Bruno. Alex has been a brother, a mentor, a friend of mine for years. I've been following things that he has been doing. I've been, well, doing some work for him off and on. And when I at some point I contacted Alex. I said, Alex, we need to do something for Dominica. You cannot give up. You cannot walk away from that thing. Let us work together. And I already had my brethren Kenty, Irwin, and of course Kendra is a friend of mutual friend of ours. That is how Team Unity came into existence.
But it's important that you're saying that because there are people who think it's all me, it's me, it's me. I mean, in fact, when you came to me, I said, "But now, man, I good." And you say, "No, bro, you cannot do that to us. You cannot." I say, "What?" You know, because I kind of felt that was going to be it for me. So I didn't bother to take you on until I do not know whether Carlos it was you who had somebody contact me, but the person came to me and the person said, Alex, here's what I see, here's what I see, and here's what I think you should do, and whatever. He reminded me of Eoli Bland, other things like that. And he says, I think there's a space for you. Go ahead and do this. And then I come back to you, Carlos, and I said, boy, somebody told me that, but did you send them? You say no. And you told me, oh, did it have to take somebody else to tell you so you don't trust me then and my vision?
I, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it. I mean, you should take my word for it. I mean, I may not be a political philosopher, but I can see certain things.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I really, in hindsight, I should have listened earlier. But at that point and that stage, I was done. I was, you know what, man, you can take the horse to the water or the donkey to the water, but you can't kill it to
Can't force
drink.
it to drink.
So you know what, I did, man. I tried, man. So let me just. But then, yeah, I'm happy that you came and the others came, and I'm happy that you had some confidence in me, and here we are today for a new movement that is destined to change the affairs, how politics are done in Dominica. And as I have told you every day, my brother, don't worry about the naysayers. Don't worry about the naysayers. You're going to be okay. You're going to be somebody in Dominica in terms of the politics. You're already somebody, but I think the sky is the limit for you. You have a very bright future because the thing about you is that you have youth on your side, Carlos. You're still very young, and there are people who are now trying to box you out or maybe try to demean you or belittle you who do not have much time again. Maybe another 5 years in politics, if at all, and they are done. I think you have at least a 30, 40 years that you can spend in politics. And that is what's going to make the difference. You have time, you have patience, you have discipline. And at the end of the day, I think you are going to be one of our political leaders of our country in the future.
Yes, Professor Bruno. But in terms of events, I just want to touch on the fact that earlier this week I was invited to an activity by the cabinet secretary of the
Mhm.
government. CAPSEC invited me to a presentation of the electoral reform, report, and I was afforded the opportunity to be at the presentation of of that report, which was at this the, there was the government the president's office at the
Yeah.
State House
Mhm.
conference room. That's where we had the activity. They presented me with the report, which I've started reading, and I shared with you copies of the official the soft copies
Yes.
of the report, and with all other members as well. So at the appropriate time, we will make a full presentation. And I think there's an activity where we will be asked to present our ideas and or if you have any recommendations
Mhm.
on the report. I already started looking at it and I see certain areas where I would make some changes, but this may not have to get into that.
Yeah.
See,
Well,
we have
yeah. Mhm.
our brother Kenty who is just joining us as well. Uh, and should I call him the grandpa?
Well, he has Kenty today, but I do not know whether he knows, man. But Kenty boy, I wanted to give you big props. In fact, I featured you on my program earlier today. Your grandpa initiative. I just felt it's one of the best things that has happened by any artist in Dominica for a long time.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Yeah, man. So we'll speak about grandpa some other time, but I guess as brethren, we were talking about things. We were talking a while ago. We were talking about how the movement got installed, and Carlos was pretty much saying that because there are people who believe I can see that is my thing, and I get people involved. But Carlos just reminded us that when he came to me at first, I was not interested
As a
until
matter of fact, Alex, I think I can say Team Unity came out as a result of Kenty's persuasion, because Kenty
Yeah, that
knows
happened
me.
in my watch. Actually, in my watch.
Kenty knows me very well, and Kenty said, "Boy, Carlos, boy, I think you you need to consider that politics thing because I looking at your movement. And, well, he's there. He can tell you guys."
Yeah. I did make that initiative. I did tell him about it. But how are you guys doing today?
and
You
everything
don't
is
mind me
good.
asking?
Everything is good, man. Everything is good. I see you on the road, man. I hope you.
Yes. Actually, I've been on the road since morning, but I had to stop. I could not pass up such a very, very vital and important subject as to when Mr. Carlos told me about it. I say, boy, I will have to make the time.
Good. Good.
Normally on Sunday is a day for me to kind of relax, but unfortunately today I had to be on the road. So I pull up on the side and I say, by the crook, I have to be part of that talk. You know. Um, but yeah, definitely. Let's jump into it. It's good to be here. It's good to always be. It's always good to be talking among such formidable men. You know, people
Yeah.
that standing up for change and for the right thing. You know, we a lot of times if you look at how the world is going today, um, good is bad and bad is good. And when you meet a few people, when you meet a selected few people that is willing to stand up for what is just and what is good in the midst of such a confused world, it brings me great joy. So I'm happy, always happy to be in the presence of you guys and the listening public online and everybody that is actually listening by right now. It means that there is something that we have to say that the public is very interested in. So it's always a pleasure, man.
All
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
man.
we touched on the electoral reform report. I just added that the fact that I was at the activity where they presented Team Unity with a copy of the report.
Right.
I'm not sure if you Kenty got a chance to look at the report since
I
it
did
was.
not get to look at the entire thing, but I saw like I briefed through it. Rightly, I didn't go in depth too much because of the nature of what I was doing for the week there. So, But I will definitely go into it into detail and take a good look at it, and then we can have a more in-depth discussion about it. I mean,
Yeah,
we
well,
can
Right.
always.
it is something that must be taken very seriously and studied and given the best analysis. Because as I always say, Kenti, that politics is a very interesting thing. You know, there's something that drives the politics, a particular discipline, you know, decorum, that leads people to power. And if you do it well, I think you should be okay. So importantly, it is necessary to take the report very seriously. Do not dismiss it.
Most
Analyze
definitely.
it and offer ideas of how best to negotiate ways of how to implement a better report or change the report.
Indeed.
Um, so that's our position as a movement, is to really take this stuff people seriously, they work seriously, and have our own input. If they don't take us on board, fine, but at least we will do the best that we can. That's pretty much how politics should be played.
Right, 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 right.
You
I
know, so,
agree. I agree 100%.
yeah, because I
Guys,
remember. Go ahead, Carlos.
guys, as part of one of our topics,
Carlos, you mute.
I think he paused.
Okay, I think he was going to. I'm not sure what he was
Yes, he'll
saying.
come back.
Yeah.
Yes. But until he gets back, I totally agree with what you were saying, Alex. I mean,
am I here? Am I here? Am I here?
yes, we can
Yes,
hear you
you're
now.
back.
We can hear you
Yes.
now.
Okay,
We
Yeah.
can hear you
okay,
now.
okay. So we have internet issues. Anyway, I was saying that we were supposed to touch on the last general elections and Team Unity's participation in the election. But
Yeah.
a lot of folks keep saying that you're going on election and all you lose.
Well, we did not
I
lose. Technically, we did not lose. I mean, what is the definition of losing? To lose is not participating. If you did not participate, you did not. There is no position that you can claim. I mean, to participate means you already won. And the people are thinking that we lost. I think they are the ones who have lost because we have at least showed that we was willing to step up to the plate. So
the idea
what is what is the definition of losing from their perspective? That is what we would have to discuss. Because I beg to differ.
Oh yeah. Well, me too, 100%. I said so repeatedly over and over again that we didn't lose. In fact, we gained by participating. We did not even contest, because we knew there was no contest. We didn't have
Of course.
any campaign. We didn't have any meetings. We did not spend. We did not do an ad. We did not even go to the booth. We put our name because it was necessary.
Right.
We participate because not
Right.
participating at the last election was giving up too many opportunities to get involved in the discussion. I mean,
Right.
you can get involved in the discussion now, as a party. Anybody can get involved. But what are you coming with? Are you in parliament? Did you try to get into parliament? Did you try to show any seriousness of trying to represent people? Trying to, no. So we participated, we did not contest, and we are winners. We certainly did not lose. And one of the things I keep on saying, Kenty, is that we just put some people on the ballot with no meetings, no campaign, nothing. And we got over
Right.
100 votes.
Right. Of
Over
course.
100 votes for a 2-month-old party. I mean, to me, that is our plus.
That is winning. That is winning to me. I mean, 0 votes is losing. 100 votes
Exactly.
is
100
winning.
plus votes, my brother. That's a lot of people that just decide I'm going to put a thing for the next party that's on the ballot with no meeting whatsoever, no money
Yes.
spent.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
So I have
no whistle stop, no motorcade.
no handout, nothing,
Nothing.
no
I think
strategy.
I think I think Dominicans is smart enough to know that if something is relevant, which TUD is relevant, um, they're going to go for it. And we have the time on our hands to properly prepare, I mean, we would be a force to be reckoned with, which I think we already are a force to be reckoned with, you know.
Mhm.
And I think it's the fact that we are a force to be reckoned with is why people did not want us to participate. But we win already by participating, and I commend Carlos and Alex for for pushing the
Spearheading.
initiative.
Yeah, man. Spearheading it. And then,
And and to that, the only party with a plan, the
yes,
only party with a manifesto.
the only, Kenty, the only party that produced a manifesto for the election.
A sensible one too.
A sensible manifesto with plans of how to fix the economy,
Yep.
So I
Yes,
think
indeed.
the couple of people who keep repeating that are just the couple of people who want to repeat it. I think outside of the picture, people see better. And one of the things Kenty and Carlos people normally say is that if I had gone up for leader, it would have been better. I have heard that,
Right.
and I have said, well, I could have done it if I wanted to, but I told you guys from day one that I'm not interested in that. And it is not because I didn't, I mean, the temptation was there, the offers were there. I could have done like what they expected me to do and do it. But I was just not interested in power in that way. I want Dominica to have a difference, not for me, not for my personal good. And I could have done it if I wanted to. And probably if I was the leader, it might have been different. But I don't have to be. It can be somebody else. It can be Carlos. It can be Kenty. It can be anybody else. I just want to be part of the team, and that's all. I
Right.
don't.
Right. And
I
that is
put,
what and that defines true unstained humility. And I think that is what people. There's one thing I can say about you, Alex. You is a very humble man, and a man of your status and caliber. To have that level of humility. I mean, that is what leadership is all about. I mean, you cannot be too high in a position for you to feel like you become a god and everybody else is peasant. The mere fact that you're willing to put yourself, you know, in the back burner and to let the potential to see the potential of the other people. I think that is what a true leader is, and you might say different, but I definitely think that you are the type of leader that we need, in the country and in the world by extension. That is what the type of leadership we're looking for. People that are humble, people that is willing to put the people before themselves. And I just want to say that to commend you for being that type of person.
hmm. Well, I didn't look at it that way, but if that's how you see it, I thank you for that. And who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? But I have always told you guys that this is not about me. I don't really care for that. I just want us to make a difference. What I want to see, Kenty and Carlos, is I want to see us enjoying ourselves in Dominica. I want to see us able, three of us, to take a trip and go St. Lucia for the weekend and come back and have money to take care for our family, to repair our vehicle, to pay our bills, like every other young person in the Caribbean can do by partner. Only in Dominica, people having so much difficulties to do that. Everywhere else is hard, but at least something is happening. In Dominica, nothing happening for the people, for the young people. How many young people now can put their hand in their pocket and buy a ticket and go St. Lucia for a weekend, go Grenada, send their children to school? So all I want is for us to have a little money flowing, things happening. It doesn't matter who in power. Give the people occupation, things to do. Do not expect people to come to you as a politician for things they want. So that, to me, if that can change, the party in power can stay in power for a million years. Just make things better for everybody, not for just the few that supporting the party in power. And that's all I'm interested in, my brother. And if it means tomorrow or things change and it's a different song, it's a different song. But for now, my job is to help to push you, Carlos, and others forward in the best way I know how. And that is my pledge and promise.
And likewise, myself, I am of the firm belief that Dominica should have opportunities for everybody to do anything that they want to do. So Kenty has his handyman business. He want to focus on that. Dominica should have enough money circulating so that when he decides he goes to do a job and he decides it's X amount the job cost
Yeah.
based on materials, based on his labor, etc., etc. The average Dominican doesn't have a problem covering the cost
To
of
pay
labor
his costs, yes.
that they want done.
To pay his costs. Because handymen are very, very significant people. You know. A handyman came to my house the other day to do the air condition. The man spent about 15 minutes there. And you don't hear how much the man charged me. But I couldn't say no. It is his price. It was close to $1,000.
Yes, but and to be fair, yeah, without cutting you guys off, I mean there is multiple, businesses that young people in the country have. I mean, I can only speak for myself or based on the people that I've been hanging out with. I mean, I have not just a handyman business. I have multiple businesses that I work in. But like Carlos rightfully said, it's the opportunities that is lacking here. I mean, we need opportunity, and too much and too long things have been politicized in a way that you have the capability, but because of your political or religious or whatever preference that they put you in the back burner, which is not fair, it's not right. And that is what we want to change.
Yeah.
And I can tell you from my experience with certain people trying to get into certain sectors of society, which is, I mean, basic. Being a taxi driver, being a taxi driver, a basic job that anybody should be able to do. Yes, you have I mean, certain things you have some prerequisites because you have these are the people who welcome your foreigners into the country. So you have to make sure they have certain basic knowledge of certain things. But even those kind of jobs, there's victimization in that,
Yes, everybody. That is something else.
and not just the victimization, but there should be opportunities. Anybody who decides they finish, well, not decide that the end of their education is over, they want to either open up a business or they want to work in an established business. The opportunities should be there for them to do whatever they decide that they want to do.
But
The
that is
energy, the energies of our young people are killed. The dreams of our young people are killed in this present situation. We want an ordinary person to be able to walk into any bank and say, I have, and can you forgive me for using your business as an example, but you are the closest one right now. I have a handyman business and I want to buy X, Y, and Z tools for me to do the job that people are calling me to do. They don't want the bank to tell you, but you sure that will work? You know, that kind of thing. They kill the
Let's not
dream.
even let's not even say tools. Let's just say just to build a workshop to secure the tools that you already have. You want to
exactly.
if you want to expand the workshop or you want to add or make or to secure your workshop, you have the workshop, but if a wind pass, it blowing down your shop and everything going and mash up. I mean, you should be able to get a loan to secure your place. I mean,
You want a proper vehicle, a proper handyman
you
branded
know
vehicle for
something. I
you.
mean, it should not be so difficult,
Well,
to
the the problem is not the institutions, it's the policies. If
exactly.
government has
That's
policies in
exactly my
place
point.
that facilitate the institution to give money to the handyman will get money. So we don't blame the bank so much. Government must create the environment by going into parliament and create laws that give strength to individuals to get money. So the bank, if the government has a policy of borrowing, of having people, helping people to get money or promoting the business in whatever area, the bank will not go against it. The bank will say, well, I have governmental support, I have government backing, there's a law that protects that. I'm going to go and give my money there because my money is protected. So the
Right.
government really well. Let me not say what the government will do. When in government, TUD will create policies which makes it more facilitating for first-time homeowners to borrow money, people with special skills to get money, for artists and musicians to be able to have money to develop their business, and for there to be a focus on new businesses. The traditional business is fine, but new inventions. So there'll be government policies that tell the bank, look, go ahead, give the money because we have your back. And that's what has to happen, Kenty and Carlo.
I agree. I agree. Also, I would like to ask you, Alex, what do you think about sometimes the government cannot 100% be blamed. And I'll tell you why. Because we are not, TUD is not about bashing government and bashing nobody. We don't bash people.
No.
We talk facts, we talk sense. I think, what do you think about putting certain people with a particular mindset in a position that many times there are certain things in place, but the people that is in power or that has that particular authority do not give the opportunities to the people that deserve it, because they're thinking that, let's say, I working on Alex's behalf and I say, well, that person talk against Alex the other day. I'm not giving that person that loan. Not even realizing that Alex will give the person the loan. But just because that person says something about Alex, I'm not giving that person that loan because that person talking against Alex. When Alex in himself would give me the loan. So people, I think we have to discontinue putting people with small mindsets in position of power so that they for them to abuse the power that they have, because that is the worst thing somebody can do. Put a person with a small mindset in a powerful position. They will abuse the power. And many times the leader himself, him or herself, don't have a problem with those people.
No.
You need a legal material for your workshop. Carlos have a heavy equipment and hauling business. You need a legal. The leader would give it to you. But the people in power, they overdo it sometimes. And what do you think about that, Alex? Putting people with those types of mindset in a particular position.
You're right. You're right about not blaming government all the time, and the people who are trusted with positions to make decisions are the ones who are actually being the problem. I agree with you.
I agree with that. I think that have a significant role to play in the victimization that is going on Caribbean-wide, not just in Dominica.
But Caribbean-wide. The world over too, and not just the Caribbean.
Worldwide.
World over, people would not present certain documents because they feel that's protecting their turf. And again, not protecting the people in power, protecting their chances to maintain their position too.
Exactly.
So you're making a very significant point, especially in Dominica, Kenty. My brother,
right.
Kenty, I'm talking about my life for 30 years, Kenty. 30 years your brother has been guaying in Dominica, Kenty. Kento, since I joined the police force in 1990, my brother, and I was fired from the police force because they say I supported UWP. UWP had been on the scene for 2 years, and I was going around with them, of course, supporting them with Edgar Jerome, like every younger person would do back in the day.
And which is your right?
My right. The man fired me. Since 1990, I'm struggling in Dominica. For 30 years plus, my brother, your partner struggling, could not see my way. Only now, we recently there, I got to go overseas, I got to go to school, and education is a nice open door, and thank God I made it. So I can tell you about what press is in a system. And the same people who was pressing me in the system, some of them are still in the system, right?
Yes, of course.
They are still in the system. Some people retire and they brought them back in.
That is something else.
So you are right about the people in the system and not just those people who are leading the system. And I think in Dominica, there are too many people who have been there for too long in the same position, keeping the young people down. And I am one of those that was kept down for 30 years. And if we do not fix this, youths to come will be kept down for as long and maybe even longer, because that's how the system is in Dominica right now.
Right.
We have to
that is a scary future to imagine.
Yeah, it is. And not very many people, it's just a few people in key positions that causing the problem in Dominica.
Right,
But
right.
we hope we can shuffle that and change that around. We hope that people trust that we have what it takes to put us in power. And if we get there, I mean, life for everybody will be changed for the better.
When we get there, we will.
When?
When we get there, it's saying that it will happen. Put that out in the atmosphere. Put that
Yeah.
out in the universe.
When we, sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later, indeed, I agree.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, what else? I know we almost to the end. What other topic we have to talk
The
about?
next general election, and how can we wake up the youth?
Oh, well, we are speaking for the youth and on behalf of the youth. The youth now have to claim their voice and be part of what we're doing. And for sure, the plan is to have a real contest this time, a real contest with strategies and money to back up the strategies.
Alex, have we already started working now?
Of course, no. We're waiting for elections to be called. Carlos, don't never say what you're doing behind the scenes in politics. But we're just telling the people that we will contest the next time. We're not participating now. We are contesting with a full campaign, maybe a full slate of candidates, and financial support to manage the campaign that we're going to put out. So if anyone is of the illusion that we are going to go away, no. We, yeah, man, think again, man. Hard to. We will do what we have to do to get the money to manage and to finance our campaign, and we will go all out in a full-fledged competition next year.
I think people will come on board. People will come on board. You know, one of the things I was discussing with a very good friend of mine. We were discussing the importance of certain foods or things that you can eat for your health benefits.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we realize is that some of the things that you might eat, it doesn't really look appealing for the first time.
Nope.
But when you realize you drink some bush tea and you don't ever have a headache, I rather you will not drink plenty bush tea after that, to prevent you from getting headache. And I think that is what TUD is. TUD is what Dominica needs, but because of the fact that we've grown accustomed to a particular trend, but once people realize the benefit of TUD is to actually propel Dominica into the future, that every Dominican can be self-sustained. And I'm saying self-sustained, not dependent. Self-sustained. And every Dominican can be self-sustained, but I longing for the days where you can, when a paycheck will meet your next paycheck will meet your last paycheck. I can tell Carlos, let's take a trip and go up to the States and spend the weekend by Alex. It would be nice to not having to go and deprive myself from paying my light bill for a whole month to do that. It will be very nice, and I think we need to get back to that place where people are self-sustained.
And I think we'll get back there. The last time, incidentally, that happened, Kenty, was under the reign of the UWP. The UWP would have done a lot to balance the affairs, economic stuff, and create opportunity for more people. Before that, it happened on the Labour Party, Patrick John and Liberal Labour Party. And then the Freedom Party came, changed things around a little. They did what they had to do, but things started shifting from the ordinary man to the more corporate citizens. And yes, UWP did a lot to roll things back, and that was good. But since then, my brother, since UWP had been taken out of office, it has been a grinding meal for the...
I tell you.
Including the skilled Dominicans too, including the skilled Dominicans.
I'll explain something to you. One of the things that I've come to realize in growing, and I don't want to be like make it seem like I'm the only one speaking. I mean, Carlos, you were a little quiet, but I think that if you have to look at how things are compared to how it was, I mean, I try to be very diplomatic right now in choosing the words that I see, because I cannot be bragging to Alex and Carlos about, boy, I pay my bills, this month end. I buy food for my house this month end, or I feed I bought clothes and shoes for my kids. It's something that I'm supposed to do as a father. I'm supposed to do that. So when you hear people leading a country making it sound like, they fix the road, they fix the hospital, they fix those are things that it's supposed to happen. What you can brag about is what are we doing to create and generate revenue for the country.
How are you able to encourage your nurses to stay in the country and not run away?
That is yes. So all that is part of it. What are we doing? And Alex, maybe you can explain that to me as a political scientist, because I that's baffling my mind every single day. What are we doing as a corporation? Dominica is a corporation more than a country. Okay? Yeah. What are we doing as a business to generate revenue, to generate income so that the people can be financially stable?
Well, but we are raising money, we just not distributing the money in a way that benefits the people. Because Dominica,
but what I'm talking about is in the country infrastructure. Infrastructure is what I'm talking about.
Because again, it's priorities. I think we just need a government with the right priorities to spend the resources that the government makes in the right areas. Because millions and billions is being made on Dominica, or in the name of our country. But that money does not filter to the people. It goes in the hands of a group of people who are handling the people, who are leading the people. We need to free up Dominica's money so it reaches the people.
And majority of that money, is it being generated in Dominica or outside of Dominica?
Outside of Dominica.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. We need to generate revenue in land.
Yes.
Create things that will generate revenue so that the people can benefit. That is the issue. That is the thing that baffles in my mind the most. Because, brother, I just see three young men pass the front media. Three of them pants right below the bottom there. Three of them. They pants right. I don't know what they getting in that kind of a thing. But what I'm saying is, we create certain things in the country where we can give those young men work, train them, so that they can at least present themselves differently. There's nothing for them not to. There's nothing to show them. They should not be walking like that on the road.
Well,
give them a job. Let me job, because that's how I was trained. I was trained on a professional level, not because I grew up that way. It's because the institution that I work with had specific trainings to teach you how to conduct yourself, and the more you do it, the more it becomes part of you. I don't know if you would agree.
I agree.
So we create these opportunities, like Carlos rightfully said earlier on, so we can train these young men and young women so they can present themselves better in society.
Yeah. When you do that, crime level drops.
Crime goes down.
People have more things to do. They have no interest in doing the wrong things to feed their family.
Well,
so when those young men walking on the road, they don't have nothing better to do.
Yeah, one of the things that we proposed to do in our manifesto, if we had won the last election, is we would have created 1,000-person strong National Guards unit. So those three young people would be involved in that National Guard. It's like a paramilitary organization, headquartered with land, and those young people will be taught skills, scuba diving, architecture, first responder, just to name it. And they would also be the first set of people to respond to emergency situations. So let's say there is a hurricane, there is a flood, there is a disaster. So these 1,000 people strong would come from the ordinary children, those people who have kind of given up and do not have the discipline that they really should have, because the job would require them to dress in uniform. And how can you wear uniform sagging down your waist?
Exactly.
So that would bring their pants up. It would give them economic earnings. It would give them a responsibility to guard the country. So we're not disbanding the police. The police will still be police,
The
but
police will get to ease up.
we're not adding to it to give the police an ease up. It won't be a military. We would call them the National Guards of Dominica, as they have,
Right.
as exist other places, and they would make $2,000, $3,000 a month, and they would have farmland to plant their own food, grow their own crops, have the animals and stuff. So they pretty much fend for themselves on special training. They would be sent to China, America, Brazil to train. So we have,
Special training.
yes, special operations training. So we have a pool of young people always willing to work, and they would respond to help the elderly. They would do the repairs on the apartment that's been built now with no repair plans for it. So people like you can be a sergeant in that National Guard.
I
Training.
understand. I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you definitely.
So it's a skill training thing, so to speak, to help law enforcement in Dominica. So if we had one, that 1,000 young Dominicans would already been employed. And when we win, we are going to initiate that, because I don't think any party now is thinking in those lines that we are thinking. So when we
Yeah.
win, that's the first
Right.
one of the first things we are going to do: create employment for at least 1,000 young people one time. Boom. So
One time.
all the boys on the block, those boys who have nothing to do, whatever it is, come. We'll go to the
Yes.
hill, we will do some special fatigue, we will teach you to do other stuff, and you get good money in the meantime, and stuff like that. One of the things that those guards people will do as well is to help with the cultivation and market management procurement of our cannabis industry that we are going to initiate as well as a government. That thing of
Right. Right.
playing games with cannabis and playing one, two, threes. No, we have to establish a full-fledged industry. We're not going to say
Proper
people can
business.
smoke marijuana on the streets, but we're going to export the marijuana and bring the money in.
Yes, we need some factories in the country. We need factories there. Factories
And
will create jobs too.
yeah, use the marijuana stem to make rope and all kind of thing like that too.
Yes. But that's what they used to make rope with before. Is hemp. Hemp was a very strong. We that was things. You're talking about things that existed already. You know, Alex.
So we don't even have to reinvent the wheel. We can just go ahead and do it and create
Right.
high grade organic cannabis oil that we,
Right.
and you don't even have enough organic cannabis oil to sell. And we'll have our Nature Island brand. We'll produce, if it's 10 drums or every day, whatever it we can do, and send that thing out there and make a lot of US dollars on
So that will
euros.
let farmers. That will give farmers that growing cannabis work to do. That will give them man work to do.
Yep.
And,
It will
and,
give
and,
them work to do. That create jobs.
and
Right.
this is just one area. Let me give you another area that was there before that we can bring back. You remember when the lab in Maho was bustling with activity
Yes.
all hours of the night?
Lab
What
swinging.
was the reason that the lab was bustling like that? Alex, you're a social scientist. Tell us.
Well, I do not know. There are many reasons. People maybe had money. One, there was manufacturing taking place in Maui,
DCP, my brother.
manufacturing in the city area down
DCP.
there. Yeah.
And that is
DCP.
one. And imagine the place so busy with just one factory.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had 8 factories.
No, but we're going to bring back. We certainly will bring back Dominica Brewery. You see that Kubuli water that not on the market now, that coming back. It will be
That
Gabriel,
nuclear water has to come
whoever,
back.
a local person doing it. We cannot
Right.
export spring
Nuclear
water
water has to
and not
come
be
back.
exporting spring water.
Yes.
So we, as a government, would reintroduce Dominica Brewery and maybe Gabriel and company, whoever it manage it. But we have our natural flagship beer being brewed in Dominica.
But of course,
We'll
of
bring back
course,
Bello products. Give all the incentive to the family to create those local products, pepper sauce and everything in Dominica in a mass way. Orange juice, all the juices, mango juice, and export those things. We would,
And empower our farmers by doing so instead of importing everything, because right now a lot of our cocoa that our small manufacturing firms are doing, it's importing. So we're talking about thing in DCP, but as a government, you have to now focus on a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, more coconut tree planting programs in the country. Build up those areas so that you can come at different stages of the manufacturing process. You are ready to
5,
deliver.
10, 15, 20 years. Yeah.
Correct.
Right, 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 right.
So these are plans that we presented in the manifesto, things that we'll be doing right now, Kenty, and that will be bringing money back to people directly.
Directly. So that's what
Agriculture.
people need. That's what people need. Direct access to funding, so that they can do the things that they need to do for themselves and their family, and live with the people. People need to be able to be rest with the fact that, I know where my meal coming from tomorrow.
Yeah. I know where I'm going to get money to pay my children's school fees, to cook food
That's
for my
right.
family.
And
Because
you
if
know how the amount. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Alex, but you know the amount of illiterate men that had hundreds of thousands of dollars in their pocket at a certain time in Dominica.
yeah,
And I say they were illiterate because they cannot read and write and spell their name. Yet still they were able to send their children to study cash. They were able to just walk inside of a car dealership and buy a transport cash.
but
What is wrong with us? Right? We are more educated people, and we have today more educated and literate people that broke.
Kenty, you're making a very good point. But you know what? I see those same children who their parents sent to school cash are the ones now who are saying, look money from me and I will send you to school. They take away the responsibility that the parent had and they claiming it now because that's their way to keep power. And that is sad. That is
Very
sad. Because they knew better, they know better, they know that they were sent to school by their parents. So why take away my responsibility as a parent to send my child to school and say, look, I have the money, I'll send you instead and support me, keep me in power. So that is one, this selfishness again, Carlos and Kent in the system.
You take away the independence.
And we are afraid, right? That's why we are formed in our movement, that the same cycle just continues repeating itself. So those in power now, they're in power for the past 20 something years. Those who are out have been out for the past 20 something years. When those who are out get in, the same thing going to happen again to those who are in. So we are saying, let's stop it, guys. Let's stop it. Put us in, so we'll make everybody have. No red, no green, no blue. Every Dominican will get if we get in there. Because if one set take on the other set that was out for so long going to say, our time come now, and they're going
my turn now.
And the same marathon cycle is going to continue. I think
and once that cycle breaks, you know the amount of hundreds of thousands of Dominicans living overseas that wants to come back home.
I'm telling you, brother.
I mean, we will repopulate the country. We will literally repopulate the country, and the place will turn up. That's why people don't want. That's why people afraid to come home. There's no opportunity. You create the opportunities. You have hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S., in Europe, in England, wherever, coming back home and staying home.
There are people who are willing, thousands of people who are willing to come home as we speak. But the mentality, the red or dead, and the whatever, the potoism is a problem. So us in, guys, let us fix our problem. So everybody, we're not going to press red, we're not going to press blue. We are going to make the enabling environment. Those people with money already, in red, you will keep your money. Those who have money in blue, you will keep your money. We are just for the people. That's what
everybody needs to. Everybody needs the opportunity.
Equal opportunity.
And if money is turning in the country, then the persons with the big businesses, they will make more money.
But of course,
no. But rich people that don't get richer.
It's a simple arithmetic,
But you cannot eliminate the bridge. You cannot take out the middle class. The middle class is the bridge for the man down there to eventually reach up there.
Yeah. So if you cut that off, people can cross over.
But of course.
So our policy is we're not against those people that have money. Those people are giving red money, and we're not against you. We love you. We want you to help us. Give us money so we can create a level playing field, make the bridge stronger, so you will make more money. That's all we're saying, right? We're not against people with their money. We're not cursing people. It's good. Wealth is great.
Everybody making money is great. Everybody needs to make money. Government needs to put the environment in place so everybody can make and not one set.
Of course.
And,
But that is the Dominican dream. That is what everybody is hoping and praying to see in the country.
but
I raised up in a family where we had copra selling for DCP on both sides of the family, on my mother and my father's side, The copra house still there in Marivot, Kenti.
And Carlos, we was having a conversation about that recently.
Yes.
Even copra is big money investment, big money business. There, I'm Alex.
Yes. So
Right.
that's
When
why
you selling coconut for a factory and the factory using that coconut and making oil and exporting, my brother, I don't know joke thing that is big money business there.
That was a thriving industry in Dominica.
Of
To the
course.
point where we had right in Maho, the DCP. I remember.
That is why the lab was thriving in Mao. People were
Of
making
course.
money.
But you have to bring in your copra. People bringing in copra. What oil? We hours of the night.
People was working. The most people who work at DCP were from Maho. So people from Maho were working. They had money.
What about people from Portsmouth? All hands see this coconut alone.
Exactly.
All in Portsmouth there where the Portsmouth Secondary School all the way up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I know
coconut.
I'm Woodford and Wesley.
All Woodford in Calibishi is coconut. So coconut is what a coconut was and can still be a thriving industry in America.
Yeah.
To be able to process it and do what we have to do. So that is the thing that we need to put in place. Those are the things we need to put in place.
We will.
Right.
When we get there by God's grace, we will do those things and change Dominica's economy in less than a decade. Just change the whole thing. And Dominica can be a very thriving country. Very, very thriving.
Yes. I have to live to see that. I have to live to see things change.
We have to make it better.
You will
We are
lead
going
it.
to.
You will lead it. You will help to lead it.
Indeed.
And that's what we're working on. So if people tell you things and try to belittle you about your movement, Kenty, don't worry about them. Just let's continue working, and in the interest of people with hope and faith. And one day we will just see things the way we want to see them in Dominica. But I see Carlos making me cut eyes. I see we're close to the time, Carlos.
Yes, guys, we need to wrap up. Kenty, it was splendid having you on. Nice to be back let's keep the vibes flowing. Professor Bruno, thank you for being our backbone. Thank you for helping us and guiding us with your expertise. We look forward to even more persons. Look forward to us being here. Look out for us being on the ground as usual, meeting with people all over the place. Look out for us. We're coming your way. Anything you'd like to say, guys, before we end?
No.
Well, I would like to say, I personally want to reach out to the Dominican listening public and say, guys, don't give up. I know the way things are currently is like we hanging on a thin thread, but at least we're still hanging on something. There is still hope. TUD is the way forward. I say that unequivocally with no doubts in my mind that is the way forward. We want to change things. We want to empower you, each and every one of you listening. We want to empower you guys so that you can think for yourself, be creative within your own self, and let your creativity generate some type of revenue that you can feed yourself and your family and your generations to come. Don't give up. Stay positive. Keep loving yourself, your enemies, and your friends with the best that you can. If you cannot say something good about somebody, do say nothing at all. But I just want to strengthen and give strength to the listening public. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for having me on today, and all the best.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you, guys. It was always a pleasure. I feel energized and empowered. Let the work continue. We are doing this for the future generations and for our country in general. God bless, and thanks again.
All right, guys. See you all at the next appointed time.
All right, take care.